Let's just all take a second, okay? Let's take a second. I know crypto Twitter can get out of hand sometimes. Let's just take a quick second. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then I'm going to answer the question in this video. When is crypto going to pump, sir? When's cryptocurrency going to pump? What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about specific dates when cryptocurrency could potentially flip to the upside, go bullish, okay? And I'm going to give you different options. I'm not going to just say one thing. I'm not going to put $5 million on Bitcoin and go long and scream it in all caps on Twitter. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to show you is a couple of different scenarios, maybe in the short term, medium, and long term, about when we could potentially see another Bitcoin bull run. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you percentages of what I believe is probably the most accurate, okay, and why I invested accordingly, okay, which is basically just showing you my research. So hopefully you don't make investment decisions off this video. Hopefully you do your own due diligence, right? So if you appreciate this content, do us both a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I am the handsomest guy on the internet. This is so clear. So I mean, come on. So clear. But yeah, I want to jump into some other intangibles of a cryptocurrency investor, because I don't want it to just be about price increase or decrease, which is so funny because I mean, look at my title or whatever. But you get the point. What I want to do is ethically bribe you guys into success. And what I've noticed is that it's not really about the cryptocurrency strategy. I think pretty much every YouTuber and every analyst on the internet is talking about strategies. And I've realized that it's not about the strategy, because there's more than enough information. It's really about the person. So I have a presentation for you guys. If you want to get access to it, join my community number. I'll leave the actual number down below. All you have to do is text me. This is not my personal phone, so I don't want to lie to you guys. It's basically just a community app where I can personally text you. So it's like a personal phone, but I'm not giving out my personal number on the internet. I won't do that. There, I'll give out the PDF in a couple of days or so. I'll send it out to everybody so you can get access to this free resource for you guys with no extra charge. But again, if you want to get access, text me below. All right. So 3 crypto habits to adopt. So the structure of this video is going to be very simple. I'm going to be showing you guys some intangibles so you can actually learn something, and that, this whole YouTube experience is not just like brain farts all day. And it's not like TikTok. I'm going to show you something that you can actually resonate with and actually grow from, okay? And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you predictions on the Bitcoin market, et cetera, and why I've made these predictions and why I've invested and what you're used to, okay? So 3 crypto habits to adopt. And here's the lessons I learned, okay? I want to show this pixelated picture here. I should have, got a better picture, but what I do want to show is that you cannot build, a really nice house, even though this one looks really nice. It looks like a castle. You cannot build a castle or a really nice house on shaky foundations, right? So very simply put, if you suck as a person, I don't care how good the cryptocurrency trading strategy is, your strategy is going to suck. Again, very simply put, if you suck as a person and you have very bad habits and you can't control yourself, then the crypto strategy is irrelevant. It will not work for you. All right. So I've noticed, again, I kind of said in the beginning of the video, I've noticed that most people talk about crypto strategies, but they don't understand, for example, the foundations of their life, or they don't understand the foundations of cryptocurrency. So this is kind of like the cycle you should be going into. And I want to personally come out here and take responsibility for it, right? As a leader, I need to show people these things, right? So I don't want to be the guy who just, again, screams on Twitter, I'm going ETH long, I'm going ETH short, because that doesn't help anybody. If anything, it just manipulates people, and it gets them to make decisions that they don't have any conviction behind, right? I want to show you how to have conviction behind your decision, because any trade is profitable. Any trade is profitable if you broaden your time horizon. So it's really a question of, are you going to stick to your guns or not? That's the biggest question with cryptocurrency or any type of investing or any type of business venture. So I want to talk about the foundations of life, and that's what's going to be most of this video. 3 habits I've adopted to become successful, and then eventually we're going to be on this channel talking about foundations of crypto, and then of course we talk about crypto strategies, and then we're going to talk about the quality of execution, consistency, and then there comes the results, right? So I give you guys a path. Again, foundations of life. You must have your life in order. Then you have to understand the deep history of cryptocurrencies, or the foundation of cryptocurrencies. Then you can actually, look at a strategy, execute the strategy with high quality, and that consistency adds up to results over time. You need this, okay? I'm gonna say it again. You need this to happen for you guys, because if you're just trying to skip around, this is why a lot of people lose money. So this will not be a video specifically about crypto strategies, but what it will, foundations of life. Okay, I said this in like 6 different ways, but I just wanted you guys to understand. So the first principle is long hours. I do not submit to the 4-hour work week that everybody talks about on the internet. I do not submit to doing less. They have a common phrase, work smarter, not harder. I say work smarter and harder. It's as simple as that. I say work smarter and harder. Why do you need to limit yourself by saying work smarter? It's not the case. It does not work. I want you guys to, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. Look at all the greatest traders, or all the biggest, business gurus, or, all of the biggest billionaires. It doesn't matter. Look at the most successful people you can possibly come up with and tell me, please tell me, leave a comment below. Do they work 4 hours a day? No. Chances are they're working 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day, right? And they're pushing themselves to, complete and total exhaustion. So I want to talk about this right here, because people think they could just come on the internet, watch a couple YouTube videos, and actually get results in cryptocurrency trading. This is not the way it works. If you're spending less than, I guess you could say, 5 hours a day, you could do it with less time. Don't get me wrong. Like, some of you are in a position where you have to work your job and there's nothing else you could do, but you're working your job 8, 9 hours a day. What about that other 6, 7 hours, right? What about all of those other hours when you're watching Netflix and eating junk food and playing video games? What about those hours? You could spend 6 hours a day and still have a full-time business. Like, there is hours you can put into this. So again, I want to talk about this and beat it to a dead horse so that you guys don't get lazy. So 4-hour work week. Do you really have to work hard? That's a big question. Now, this is a quote from Thomas A. Edison. Okay, it's one of the most influential people in our entire life. I wonder what would have happened to me if some fluent talker had convinced me to the theory of the 8-hour workday. So it's so funny because he's putting this quote out back in the day, and he's talking about the 8-hour workday, which a lot of you are used to. And convinced me that it is not fair to my fellow workers to put forth my best efforts in my work. I am glad that the 8-hour day had not been invented when I was a young man. If my life has been made up of 8-hour days, I do not believe I could have accomplished a great deal. This country would not amount to as much as it has done if the young man of 50 years ago have been afraid that they might have earned more than they were paid for. So again, the point I'm trying to make is, even today's day, I scream at my employees all the time and they hate me for it. I know you guys hate me for it, but if you're not working weekends, if you're not putting your best effort after work, if you have to keep your job, if you're not working more than 8 hours a day, you're shooting yourself in the foot and you're doing yourself a disservice, and you should stop investing. I'm just going to be clear. You must work extremely hard to get extreme results. It's as simple as that. If you want to become a millionaire, that is extreme. There's only a select few people on earth that make $1 million. If you want to make $1 million, you must put forth the effort to make $1 million. It's as simple as that. Here's another quote from Charlie Munger, one of the wisest people on planet Earth. Hard work is hard to hide, okay? So basically, I don't want to read the quote, but basically there was a story where he invested in a company of construction workers, and these construction workers made the pact, that they were going to work 14-hour days until they're caught up. So if they were ever in a debt, or they're negative or red, and the business is not making money, they made a pact that they were going to work 14-hour days until it's green again. And as you can see here, well, needless to say, that firm did not fail. The people died rich. It's such a simple idea. Okay. When all else fails, you could just put your might and will behind something. And again, I do not submit to weak-minded, 3-hour, 4-hour work days. I submit to working your butt off all day to get the end result. Okay. Even if, and I also don't submit to, hard grunt working, like if that were the case, then, manual labor workers would be making the most money on earth. I submit to both: work hard and smart. And that's the answer. All right, if we come over here, there's a really cool video where he dives into a little bit more detail. This is Charlie Munger. Every missed chance in life is an opportunity to learn something. So I do want to play this really quickly so you guys can see what he has to say, and hopefully I don't get copyrighted, but I'm going to play it for you.
Another thing, of course, is life will have terrible blows in it. Horrible blows. Unfair blows. Doesn't matter. And some people recover and others don't. And there, I think the attitude of Epictetus is the best. He thought that Every mischance in life was an opportunity to behave well. Every mischance in life was an opportunity to learn something. And that your duty was not to be submerged in self-pity, but to utilize the terrible blow in a constructive fashion. That is a very good idea. And you may remember the epitaph which Epictetus left for himself. So here lies Epictetus, a slave, maimed in body, and the ultimate in poverty and favored of the gods. Well, that's the way Epictetus is now remembered. He's had big consequences. And he was favored of the gods. He was favored because he became wise and he became manly. Very good idea.
Which brings me to my next point. I'm just going to leave the video and let it speak for itself, but I want to talk about the next principle, which is believe in yourself, okay? A lot of people don't think they can actually do it, and this is obviously a big problem. What do I mean by that? All right, so there's an actual cognitive bias in your brain. I call them basically the blind spots in your head. And this cognitive bias is literally called contrast bias, okay? And this basically, I want to go to the example because the example explains it the most. If one candidate is particularly weak, others may appear to be more qualified than they really are. All right, so what that basically means is even though, there's somebody that's far ahead of you, like for example, let's say somebody's lifting weights and he's benching 315 pounds and you never benched in your life. Well, this is probably a bad, this is probably a bad, because you can't bench 315 off the bat. But I will say that, let's say hypothetically, for example, a marketer or something, a lot of times, a professional will appear to be far ahead and way further ahead than you think. Okay. And this is a bias in your brain. You think that just because someone's so much better than you, that you can't do it is the point I'm trying to make. Right. So I want to talk about the story called the 4-hour mile. Okay. And obviously I don't know the specifics. I don't know the guy's name, but I remember this story because stories implant in our brain. Back in the day, the 4-hour mile was deemed to be impossible. People literally thought that your heart would explode if you tried to run a 4-hour mile. Right. And one guy did it. And he pushed through and he did it in 3 hours and 56 seconds. And literally the next 5 weeks, 5 other people did it. Right. So this super impossible goal of achieving a 4-hour mile, right? Super impossible, where everybody literally thought you were going to die if you tried to pull it off, was achieved by 6 people in a small time frame right after the first guy. So the point I'm trying to make is, again, your mind puts these limitations on yourself. And I know this physically because, I have a person in the office, his name's Dro. He runs like very long distances. And, I've always had this physical limitation on myself where I couldn't run long distances. And he pushed me to do a marathon, right? Which is ridiculous. That's a lot of, it's like 26.2 miles. I ran a marathon, right? And again, the point I'm trying to make is if you are putting yourself in the vicinity of people that are doing it, then it will help you get the result. This kind of brings it back to the law of 33% that we talked about in my other video, right? If you are following people that are doing it on a day-to-day basis, it will kind of trick your mind to thinking you could do it as well, and it will help you get to the end result. So you must align yourself with community, and you must understand in your brain that it puts limitations on you, and you could actually achieve something that you don't think is possible. So I do want to talk about that. And then the last one, again, is kind of piggybacking off the hard work, but do the hard things. And this has been a constant thing I've been saying over and over again in my tweets, in my videos, to my community, to my team. Do the hard things. It's just so simple. People overcomplicate everything. It's ridiculous. They literally overcomplicate themselves out of execution. And again, if you just go towards the hard route, so all you have to think about any situation, it doesn't matter what you're trying to solve. It's very simple. Do the hard things and keep it simple. Most of the time, these big, elegant strategies, which is kind of what we're talking about with this presentation, these big, elegant, crazy strategies that are, like 1,000 pages long, or like the video is 16 hours long and it seems super smart because this guy is doing some technical analysis you've never seen before. A lot of times, the overcomplicated things don't really work. Usually it has to be very simple. Okay. So actually Charlie Munger talks about it. He calls it availability misweighting tendency, right? So essentially, I don't want to go over it too much, but man's imperfect, limited capacity brain easily drifts into working with what's easily available to it. Right. So, for example, let's say hypothetically, I wanted to be the greatest cryptocurrency trader in the world. Right. So what do most people do if they want to be the greatest cryptocurrency trader? They try to find a strategy. Right. They maybe read a book. Right. And, they go to literally the easiest way to find a book is like Amazon. They'll go to Amazon. They'll buy a book. Right. And they'll read it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right. And I did that. And that does get results. But the hardest, simplest way is it's so obvious. Why read a book when you can go to, for example, a mentor? So this is exactly what I did when I created my strategy during the bear run in 2017, 2018. I went to the smartest people I know and I just asked them. Instead of reading a whole book, it's so simple. Just ask the people that are currently doing it. It's as simple as that. But it's hard. Why? Because number one, you have to lower your ego and say that this person's better than you. And then you got to go talk to them, right? And it's not over complex. So it seems like it doesn't work. It seems like, I'm going to waste my time if I go to these networking events. I'm going to waste my time if I talk to these really smart people. It's not going to really lead to anything. They're not going to give me the answer. They're not going to give me the answer. And all this doubt creeps in. But the truth is, again, these experts that are currently doing it are, it's the most up-to-date information you could possibly get. Right? This is very true, right? But again, people overcomplicate it. And there's nothing wrong with books. I'm not trying to shame books, but people overcomplicate it. They're watching these YouTube videos. Remember, you got to learn how people get incentivized. It's very simple, right? A lot of these big, and I see it's ridiculous. Like you can see it all over Twitter. These guys are like putting in these crazy longs, right? And these crazy shorts. And you literally see them losing money. But they keep putting in these longs. And you got to realize that a lot of these guys have shilled, for example, leverage trading for so long that they have this huge community that they make money off liquidations, right? So they'll keep longing and shorting and keep manipulating people's brain to, number one, go viral because people just love positivity. Even if the market's not positive, they love positivity. And number two, they make all this money. And the point I'm trying to make, again, is that is the simple route. Watching a tweet or reading a tweet is the simple, easy route. Just follow someone on Twitter, listen to what they say, follow what they say, right? But the hard route is actually pulling this person aside, getting an interview with them and asking them the hard questions and seeing it, because you're going to get a lot of rejection, right? It's the hard route is the best route. Don't overcomplicate things. It's very simple. Don't listen to these guys' tweets. Go pull them aside and see what they're actually doing. Find people that actually show their P&L. Find people that actually show their portfolio and exactly what they're doing portfolio. This is the reason why I do it, right? So again, do the hard stuff. Don't overcomplicate. And this is just another example. Like for example, I'm not a professional trainer. I do have a little bit of weight on me, and my goal is to try to lose it. But this is just really, really, I know it's going to resonate with a lot of people because they've thought about this a lot, right? A lot of people don't think about investing, but they do think about their health and their weight because, they want to get the girl, they want to get the guy, whatever, right? So if you go to Google right now and you type in lose WE, you can literally see that it says lose weight in 4 weeks. And it also says lose weight pills. And the first one that comes up is lose weight fast. Again, the internet, influencers, all these people will always submit to your cognitive biases so they can get views. Of course, you're going to click lose weight fast. So of course, they're going to make an article. This is what clickbait titles mean. This is why the titles are ridiculous. And sometimes I do it too. My goal is to ethically bribe you. So I'll do like a crazy clickbait title and then I'll give them real information. But a lot of times they leave that information empty because they haven't solved it for themselves. That's the point I'm trying to make is, again, do the hard things, right? So how do we lose weight? You lose weight by eating less calories and working out more. Like if you're eating pizza every day, you're not going to lose weight, right? That's another thing. You probably won't lose weight fast. If you lose weight fast, okay, you'll probably gain it back fast, right? So these things are always wrong. It's like lose weight pills. You probably won't lose weight pill. Like how do you lose weight? Think about it. You work out more and burn more calories, right? And you eat less calories. It's as simple as that. For 99% of people that are overweight, if you just ate less calories and stop eating fatty foods, right? As somebody was saying, oh, Alex, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not a personal trainer. You're supposed to eat more calories. That is for a minority of people. Yeah, there are some people that need to eat more calories to burn weight because they just work out so much or whatever the case is. But most people, if you just eat less calories, will lose weight. And it's very simple, but it's hard, right? Because that forces you, and trust me, I know it's hard, man. I like pizza. I ate pizza last night. I love pizza. I love desserts. So don't get me wrong. I know it's hard, right? But if your goal is to lose weight, this is what you have to do, right? And it's the same thing for investing. The hard things, the simple, elegant things are what get you the end result. So that's the presentation there. And I'm going to give it to you guys. Again, if you want to get the free presentation, I have a community number. I forgot the number. I don't know off the top of my head, but I will pin it in the comment below. In the pinned comment, there will be my community number where you could text me directly and we can have a conversation and I will send you the PDF. Now let's go over the market conditions very briefly, but I did briefly want to show you guys that, influencers are getting sued. This happened last bull run, and this is why I never promoted scams or got paid by any project. There were some projects that I promoted that might have been bad, but that was because of my lack of research, not because I got paid by them. So I know I'm in a green light, never got paid by any project. But these people did. And as you can see, SafeMoon is getting sued by, I forgot who, but look who's on the list, guys. Some of the biggest influencers ever, including Jake Paul, right? Literally, you can see Jake Paul right there. Yeah, so guys, I mean, again, like it's kind of bringing it back to what we've been talking about in a slideshow and everything like that. Make your own decisions, guys. Also, Johnny, you can follow him on Twitter. He's one of our analysts here. Johnny basically put a really good point out here that I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to get back into the market until something like this happens. Once I see a very big liquidation and these greedy centralized exchanges make their money, then I might jump back in. And as you can see right now, it's a little bit 50-50. I want to see a lot more, I guess you could say, shorts, because if there's a lot of people shorting, then they're going to try to get it liquidated by moving the price up. So I want to see a lot more shorts, and it looks like it's overwhelmingly long, which could bring the potential downside. Again, I talk about it from pros and cons, and there is pros to what's happening right now. I want to talk about some pros that recently came up in the market. But here's another con, unfortunately. OpenSea basically got hacked for millions of dollars. I'm not going to comment on the specific hack and how it worked, but I did call this in my Twitter February 19th. So go follow me, go follow Johnny. OpenSea hack is the last negative news that will push BTC below 40K. And if we look at the exact date, February 19th, you could see that we got pushed below 40K. So I did want to point things out like that. Follow me on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, people were comparing this OpenSea hack to like a Mt. Gox event. Which is very interesting, which is going to play into the end of this video, which is when pump, right? When does the market come back? And it's going to be very deep research. I promise it won't leave you empty. But yeah, this is going to play into what I'm talking about here. It's very interesting stuff. But crypto winter, it seems like everybody's talking about crypto winter. So let's look at sentiment a little bit, right? So we see it from Vitalik Buterin saying he welcomes crypto winter, which is interesting because, why are they saying this now? The biggest people on planet Earth are saying this now. We see a co-founder of one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges on planet Earth saying that we're not going to see Bitcoin run until the end of 2024. I think it's a little bit too far out. I have a specific date actually for you guys, which we're going to be talking about today. Also, if we look at what's going on the macroeconomic condition, and I actually like looking at the front page like this, if this ad would go away, but I actually like looking at the front page. And the reason I say that is because you can kind of see the general consensus. So it looks like there's it looks like the war was just a whole publicity game, which is what I expected. And if that kind of cools off, it might be positive for cryptocurrency. And just to comment on these big, crypto winter news pieces, this is actually probably a positive for crypto as well, because if these big influencers are changing the sentiment, you guys know I do the exact opposite of the sentiment. So if everybody's talking about crypto winter, right, which is what they're talking about here, right? Look, literally, I just typed in crypto news for today, and you see the Bitcoin bull run won't happen. You see crypto winter. You see Bitcoin's price dips below. So it's all negative now. The sentiment is changing negative. See what I do, okay? I do the exact opposite of what everybody else is thinking. So to be honest, this is kind of a pro. The fact that everybody's talking about the crypto winter now makes me slightly bullish because I don't want to follow these people. All right, so let's go into the main topic of discussion here. And I did talk about this probably a little bit more detail on February 1st. So you guys can go check that out. It was probably the deepest analysis on the Bitcoin halvings I have ever seen before. And this is the reason why I made it. Let's go over it one more time, but in a little bit more detail. So what we're looking at here is basically the Bitcoin's price BLX, which is the largest data set and Bitcoin that you can find. BLX, you can pull it up in TradingView. And there's a lot of big events here, but basically the gist is there's ways that they take the market down. I don't think it's random. I think they are coordinating it to a certain extent because, I mean, I know they're coordinating it. This is a fact. I've broken this down in multiple videos, and they have like a specific playbook that they use. So I'm going to isolate the playbook in this video and show you that they already used the playbook on us. They used the playbook on us, and it's likely to manipulate everybody. But as you can see here in the first cycle, and I don't look at looking at this incomplete data over here, but if you look at the first cycle, after the first cycle, you can see that they ended the market with the Mt. Gox hack, which is a centralized exchange, and then they ended it with China banning Bitcoin. This was the primary news around this event, and it brought the market down, okay? Now, if we look at the second one, we see the CBOE futures launch for Bitcoin, and we also see the ICO bubble popping, right? Which is very interesting, right? So centralized exchange again, and then ICOs are like basically the demand side for crypto, the utility narrative, which is really interesting. Again, if we bring it back over here, Vitalik Buterin, which is basically the leader of this utility narrative, the Ethereum leader, is basically saying another crypto winter is coming. Super interesting, right? Think about what's going on. So ICOs kind of helped end it, as well as the futures launch, the Bitcoin's futures launch. And guess what? As you can see here, they use the same playbook. Elon Musk Bitcoin tweet at this exact top. China bans Bitcoin transactions right around here. Then we see, again, a Bitcoin ETF at the exact top. Why do they do this? They do this because they want exit liquidity. They want people with big money to be able to get out of the market. So they want to launch these ETFs so they can have that exit liquidity. And ever since that event, we have been dropping and dropping. Another thing, important thing to come out, right, is they're like, oh, Alex, but what about the ICO bubble? The ICO bubble was primarily captured by Ethereum, so it fueled the Ethereum market. Now, again, we see NFTs being fueled. So NFTs don't necessarily get captured. Like Ethereum does, it does to a certain extent with the Ethereum transaction volume. But in most cases, it gets settled and just transferred around. ICOs actually get captured with the actual coin, right? So, and I think it's really crazy because even this recent event, if we look at the BLX, which I thought was crazy, even this recent event with the Super Bowl, literally, as I said, we ran up. Then the exact Super Bowl date was this February 12th. We see the market dump. It was almost like the anticipation and then sell the news event. Exactly what I've been talking about over and over again, repeated videos. Exit liquidity, exit liquidity. What were they pumping? They were pumping metaverse, they were pumping NFTs. That was pretty much the whole entire Super Bowl ad commercials, right? And again, the important part about this that you have to understand is that they need exit liquidity. So they will do things like this and it will look super positive. But if I'm a whale, I'm going to sell on a super positive date, all right? So again, I want to just kind of bring it back because I'm probably scaring some people. Hey, if Bitcoin goes up, there's only one reason the market will continue. And this is retail and demand, okay? If retail has enough purchasing power to step in and keep the market continuing, then yes, we will have that last leg that everybody keeps talking about. Yes, I do agree. Now, again, it looks like retail does not have enough power. This was the greatest cryptocurrency advertising event we have ever experienced in our lives. In cryptocurrency history, this is the biggest advertising event we have ever experienced. And it does not look like it catalyzed the market in any way, shape, or form. We were supposed to see something significant. Everybody was saying, hey, we're going to bounce like this. Well, we almost did. Look, we almost did. But it died out very quick. And now we're coming right back down to potentially make a lower low, right? So I don't think the crypto demand on the retail side is enough to continue the market, just to be clear. But if there was a time for the market reverse, it will be very soon. Potentially with this Fed meeting happening on the 24th, which is coming up. If the wars clear out and everybody prices in, what's currently going on with the war and they're like, okay, maybe there's not a war, and people understand this. And if they clear up, what's happening with economic conditions, and inflation and everything, if all of that just somehow clears up in the next couple of days, then maybe we see the flip to the reverse side and then the last hoorah that everybody keeps talking about. But personally, I think the only way this is going to work is if retail steps into a significant way. But what have we been seeing on every YouTube channel, every analyst on planet Earth? We've been seeing that it's all about whales at this point. So again, I think the whales are manipulating us to a certain extent. So let's talk about realistic, in my personal opinion, realistic time frames. Maybe the market again reverses now, maybe. Okay, and again, I'll buy crypto when Bitcoin hits 30K. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna buy crypto. I've already told you guys a million times. Okay, so this is not negative news. This is just me trying to give you the truth, which sometimes the truth hurts. If we look at the price, okay, and we look at and compare it to other cycles, which again, the biggest catalyst for other cycles is the Bitcoin halving event. If we look at what's going on, okay, it's very simple. The first, halving event to the top of Bitcoin's price was approximately 385 days, as you can see here. Okay. The second one was 525 days, which is a little bit longer. The third one was 546 days, which was very similar, but a little bit longer. So this would play into the case, okay, maybe it takes a little bit longer for the expanding cycles that everybody talks about. Maybe. All right. Now, there's one thing I think is really important, which is the bottoms, right? So if we look at the bottom the first time and how many days, 546 days to the halving event, we bottomed out, Bitcoin started increasing in value. So it looks like it would be around that time, because if you look at the second cycle, again, 504 days. So if we look at the bottom of Bitcoin's price, 504 days out. So if we take the same thing, and I said this in the last video, and we expand it out, we will probably see, and this is the potential next halving event, which is February 12th, 2024. If we look at it, remember the guy said 2024, we're going to see a bull run. I don't think so. I think it's probably going to be a little bit earlier, which would be September, October of 2022. Okay. Again, let me scroll a little bit deeper. September, October of 2022 would be the bottom of the bear run. And it might trade sideways for a while and then potentially increase in price. But again, all I'm just taking is the same days, right? The same days, right? So if we look again, right here, we see a negative 80.39%. And then if we look at the drop of last Bitcoin's price, we see a negative 83, and then we see a negative 85. So I think it's realistic. And then again, if we look at the time frames, it's very simple. I'm just taking the 511 days. We got this from looking at the other cycles, 504 and 546. So the exact day is irrelevant. So if we take 500 days from the potential halving event in the future and bring it back to current time, we see September, October of 2022 for the bottom of Bitcoin's price. And then from there, honestly, I don't know where it goes. So this is assuming that the Bitcoin halving event is catalyzing everything, which has been a reality since the beginning of Bitcoin. Now, again, that might change with NFTs and metaverse coming in, stepping into play. But from what we've been seeing with the Super Bowl launch, it doesn't look like they're going to step in pretty hard. It doesn't look like retail has enough purchasing power to step in. If that's the case, we will continue with the cycle that we've done since the beginning of Bitcoin, guys. Nothing would change. And yeah, their playbook is the same. Look, ready? This is like a psychology thing, banning Bitcoin. Then centralized exchange hack, ready? This is a centralized exchange launch, right? And then this is like I guess you could say a negative event, right? And then we see Elon Musk, which is like a psychology thing. Then China, again, with the same playbook, right? And then we see a Bitcoin ETF, which is the same playbook here. And guess what? We just had a potential Mt. Gox event that happened with OpenSea, which was supposed to be the biggest catalyzing event. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. Again, I think the powers that be understand that the only thing that continue the market right now is NFTs, because they are the biggest, I guess you could say, new adoption medium for retail. And so what do they want to do? The biggest powers are going to kill the NFTs. And they just literally had a potential Mt. Gox attack. Like, people were literally comparing what happened to OpenSea to Mt. Gox. This literally just played out, okay? Like yesterday or 2 days ago. And yeah, again, so you can see pretty much everything they have to dump the market has been played out with this cycle. They have done they have done everything. They got the hack. They got the Bitcoin getting banned in China. They got the futures launch. They have everything they've ever used to dump the price of Bitcoin has been pulled out on us this cycle. So retail coming in, I'm doubtful, especially with war and economic climate. This is just where my research led me. Don't kill the messenger. But if we do reverse, it will be very soon. So I'm going to keep my eyes, and maybe I flip, but I'm now 60% bearish, 40% bullish. And again, there's slight insecurity when I say this, because the market can reverse right now. It can reverse right now very soon, very soon. It can reverse. And we could probably go to maybe 80 to 100K BTC. At that point, I know for a fact the market's over. But if we do, I need to see something significant. And of course, I will update you guys with what it is that changes my decision. But that's it for this video. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism. Subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching this, guys. Catch you in the next one.